Did you know that Kanye apologized? What up, where's your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. So, on an episode of Piers Morgan, who is a British journalist, Kanye West actually apologized. It says here that Kanye apologized for, quote, hurt and confusion he caused by his anti-Semitic tweet. He walked out of the tense interview halfway through filming before returning to finish taping, says Piers Morgan. The Donda rapper was filming an appearance on British TV host Talk TV when the conversation boiled over. The interview looked tense when the pair frequently disagreeing in a number of clips circulating ahead of the interview airing on Friday. Piers Morgan described the Kanye West episode as an extraordinary, fiery, passionate, funny, and shocking 2-hour interview. However, tensions became too much at one point, according to Piers, and Ye stormed out of filming halfway through the show. He claimed that the disappearing act left the crew with quite a struggle to come and get him back. Nonetheless, the TV host was pleased Kanye returned. Quote, I'm glad I did because we ended up getting to where I think in his mind he wanted to get to. I think he wanted to atone for what he had done and the damage he had caused, but was too fired up and too proud to actually go there until toward the end. So, it also says that elsewhere during the episode, Kanye apologized for causing hurt and confusion with his remarks, which were anti-Semitic, although he did double down on his remarks initially. When Piers asked him whether he regretted threatening to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, he replied, no, absolutely not. Then when Piers asked if he knew the comments were racist, Kanye added, yes, that's why I said it. I fought fire with fire. I'm not here to get hosed down. However, later in the show, West apologized, admitting, I will say I'm sorry for the people I hurt with the DEFCON, the confusion that I caused. He also added, I feel like I caused hurt and confusion, and I'm sorry for the families that had nothing to do with the trauma that I had been through. Hurt people, and I was hurt. So basically, Kanye apologized, but you got to pull teeth at this point because he's so hunkered down into this situation that any type of backtracking or sense of remorse to him is going to feel like he has been pushed into a corner, right? I feel like Ye right now, he said himself, hurt people. And I feel like what he's doing is pretty much showing you that he's hurt. I feel like once upon a time, Ye was a man of very strong moral convictions, right? And some may argue his mental illness has sunk him deeper and deeper into a space where he can't function normally to control these feelings like he used to. And therefore the outburst and the very rude and insensitive comments, a lot of people attribute it to his mom passing away, but I think it's more than that. I believe before his mom even passed, Ye was already on his way to a different Ye than what we thought we had, right? But when she passed, it was extremely sad, and we were all still, we still looked at Ye with a certain light. Like he was a revolutionary, he was a man of the people per se, and he was very, very definitely for the culture and for the cause of his race. And as the years went on, as more and more things started to come to light, and it started to seem like Ye was slipping away from his people to a lot of, not just my opinion, but a lot of us. And I say all that to say it's very surprising for him to apologize. But I think under all of that bravado and tough exterior, Ye really is sensitive. I believe that he really is actually, like he said, he's hurt. And I think that he feels lashing out is how he gets people to listen to him, just like a child. Some children, positive or negative attention, it goes both ways. They'll take it either way. If they can get you to look at them because you're mad, because you're sad, because you're disappointed, because you're angry, whatever, they'll take that attention because that's all they want. And I feel like he got the attention, but I feel like he also understands that that attention that he got is hurting his bottom line. It's hurting his pockets. And I feel like him being a person who 100% respects the bottom line above all. I believe Kanye above everything. Color, race, creed, whatever. None of that matters more than the almighty dollar, in my opinion, when it comes to Kanye West. He's told you on several occasions that he respects a rich person's opinion much, much more than a broke person's opinion. And if you can't tell him nothing about getting rich, he really doesn't care what you have to say. He said this. This is not me making this up. So with that being said, I feel like in this situation, he's hurt, but he's sensitive. And he sees that when he sat down with Piers Morgan, there were two people. After I did my last interview, which I was right, no one challenged him in any of these interviews, right? But what happens is once you get in that media market that isn't your boys like Nori and Sway and whoever else sits down with him and lets him say all this stuff, once you get out of that market and you get into a market with Cuomo and you get into a market with Piers Morgan, and those two guys really went at him, even they kind of like try to let him speak, but they still went at him. And what you see is what I said. If you challenge him in these interviews and start to try to push back on any of these things he says, he's going to get upset. He's going to storm out. He's going to act like a big baby. And that's what he did with this one, with Piers Morgan. He stormed out. Because when you start to buck heads with him, he doesn't want back and forth. He doesn't want dialogue. He doesn't want commentary. He wants to rule that thing without any type of pushback. He wants you to giggle with them. Take another shot, Kanye. Say more. He wants that. He wants that interview. He definitely doesn't want you to say, well, you know what you said was harmful. Right? He doesn't want you to say, well, you know what you said was racist, right? He doesn't want you to say that. Because then when you say that, you start calling on you're tugging on his sense of morality. You're tugging on his sensitive side, where he really doesn't want to hurt people. And when you call him out on that and you say that, he has to acknowledge that what he's saying is mad hurtful. Just like when Van Lathan confronted him when he said the slavery was a choice. First thing he wanted to do, go give him a hug. That had nothing to do with what he was talking about. He didn't need a hug from you. He was disappointed and upset, and he said it. And the first thing Kanye was like, let me give you a hug, brother. Because he knew there's somebody, a real person behind these words that I'm spewing. So right now, when we hear that he apologized, that's him being beaten into submission to admit inside him his heart is a hurt person. Let's peel back the layers. He's heard about Kim, lashing out at Kim. Heard about Diddy, lashing out at Diddy. Heard about Meek Mills, lashing out. He don't lash out against people that he's not hurt by. Right? He's not lashing out at people that he could have lashed out at the game. The game said some crazy stuff about his wife. He never lashed out about the game. And when he does lash out about these guys that he thinks are tough or whatever, it's you go to green light me, kill me. You know what I'm saying? It's just over the top dramatic. It's like I'm gonna make as much noise as I can so that if you feel like you're gonna harm me, then you're gonna have to harm me, and the whole world's gonna know. So it's like I feel like what we saw was a person. He crashed out. And they started to drop him from things. And they started to make it clear, you can crash out, but we're not going to crash out with you. And no amount of money that you are going to make us is going to let us crash out with you. And as a matter of fact, a lot of those very same people you're talking about going DEFCON on actually work here. And they are actually offended. And they don't find it cute anymore. They don't find it funny anymore. They actually are, upset. It's very insensitive, right? So when you start to understand that his biggest motive is money and his second biggest motive is attention, and both of those start to make your business go flippity flop, where it's starting to look like you got the bank pulled your money out. I believe he thought he was invincible because he had so much money. The bank was like, take your money. a bunch of money with nowhere to put it is not a lot of money anymore. It's a bad situation. And the simple fact of the matter is the bank told him to take his money. They dropped his arenas. Balenciaga just dropped him. Gap is about to drop him. And there's a whole lot more going on. And there's lawsuits coming from George Floyd's mom. So guess what's going on now? You're starting to reprogram that computer in your head that's telling you can get away with anything. Right? It's starting to change. And that sensitive side is starting to come out because you know at some point all of these little eggs you're laying, they're going to hatch. All these little hateful eggs you're laying, they're going to hatch. What we got to understand is some of the stuff he's saying is extremely true. But when you're throwing out 5 true things and then you're throwing out 15 hateful things about other people that are not necessary to be saying on repeat, okay, if you got to get it out, say it. You said it, move on. But you're going to go every talk show. Kanye has went live on on YouTube. I think I've seen Kanye 3 to 4 days in a row straight on live. Kanye. 11,000 people watching at any given time. He's on there morning and night. This guy is in a manic state. He's not doing anything but talking on YouTube live, going deeper down a rabbit hole. So my whole thing is, at some point, the crash has to come. I think the crash is coming, and this apology, because if you feel like you're saying the truth, what are you apologizing for? He said he's an audience of one, and it's God. So why would you apologize? I'll tell you why. Because the pockets are starting to see the effect. All the untouchable business deals are actually being touched now. And all of the people that you thought you could bully are actually saying, no, we don't want to stand on the playground with you anymore anyway. So you're going to see a little more apologizing, and you're going to see a little more control from Kanye West. And you'll probably see some reinventing of him soon. That's just my opinion. But Kanye apologized. I don't know if you know that or not. I don't know if you care. But I know a lot of people really thought he would never apologize. And a lot of people stood by him. And a lot of people feel like what he's saying is 100% facts. Some of the stuff is obvious. And I don't think if you're stating obvious facts, I don't think you're really at that point teaching anything that people really need to know, to the point where you have all this extra hateful baggage along with it. Right? I think that some of the stuff is spewing bits and pieces. It's a word salad, like I like to say, and it's unnecessary. I need Kanye to just fall back for a little bit. Some people just need to fall back. Right? Some people need to fall back and stop blaming other people for their own problems. Let me know what you think in the comments. CLBMG.com. Hit the website, check it out, see what we got going on. Share the video, hit like, hit the subscribe button, and get in the comments and just say whatever you want to say. I'll respond. I'll catch you on the flip side. Oh, the merchandise. We got a whole bunch of new CLBMG merchandise. Look down in the description. It's right down there. We got hoodies, hats. It's crazy right now. Every Wednesday night, we go live for at least 2 hours. Clash the Rap podcast. We got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
CLB.